Hey everyone, Alice here with a different reading here. Educational? I don't know. I don't know what this is. I just noticed that I talk a lot about time, right? And I try not to ramble too much about time in my videos, like in the reading videos, because it could get quite long, me rambling about time. So I thought I would just do a separate video about time, but more about what do I mean when I say timeless? Because I have dates, right? You see the dates and you're like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Isn't that a time? So, I mean, it's not really that difficult of a concept, but at least I know for me, my brain, it can go all over the place when you think about time and space and all of that shit. But I thought I would explain at least how I feel it is when I do readings so you can kind of get a better idea of that. Um, so, like, I know when I first sort of found readings and tarot online, I used to get really confused when I would see that a reading said, it's timeless. I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Because when the reader was pulling the energies, it was at that time. So what does that mean? So okay, we're gonna illustrate here. So I'm just gonna put now. So this is where we are right now. That is the now. Okay. It'll make sense. It'll start to make sense. So now, so when we're talking about like a video, so like when a reader puts like a video down, that is their now, right? That is the time that they are pulling the reading. Obviously it's not, unless it's streamed live, you're not gonna like know when that is, because it's they're recording it at that time. So when they're pulling energies in that current time, right? In the now. So when you find the video, you might find the video, oh, here, let's do this. Let's put the line of time here. You might find the video here, or you might find the video way later here. So whenever you find the video, this is like your time. So this is like your now. Here, I'll put your now. So what confused me was, okay, so when I do a video, when I find a video, I'm like, okay, so I thought that, like, let's say I'm gonna put this is April, because April is now, and let's say this is May. We'll put May, and we'll put this as like December. So we'll have actual like dates here. So when you find the video in May, even though it says it was done in April, see, I used to think that, oh, that means whatever I'm inquiring about, let's say you're inquiring about your person, why is your person acting this way? I thought that if the video was recorded in April, then that was how they were acting in April. That makes sense why you would think that, but that's not what's going on. That's not what's happening. When you find the video in May, the reader, the energy that they pulled on in April was actually the energy that they pulled on from May. Does that make any sense? For you in your story, in your message. So the universe didn't want you to see this in April. For whatever reason, shit was going on in April. The universe wanted you to find this message, this video in May. You found it whenever you found it. I mean, you have free will. So, I mean, the video was available for you in April, but perhaps things happened. And that's the thing. That is the problem with free will. Everybody has free will, and energy is very fluid. It's very, very fluid energy. Here, I'm gonna that's my sort of icon for fluidness. Water, because water is very fluid. The energy is quite fluid. So how the energy was in April, perhaps things changed. People did things, whatever happened, that you weren't meant to get the message until May. for things to fall into place, all those coincidences, whatever, if you think they're coincidences, they're not, happened. They, it just, because the universe doesn't know what the fuck time is. This is the problem with this whole thing. The universe doesn't know what the fuck this line is that I just drew. The universe doesn't know what April, May, December, it doesn't know what any of this shit is. So when you find something, yeah, to you it was a month later, but the universe doesn't know what the fuck time is. It doesn't, time is a human construct. We created, the months, we're the ones who decide, okay, this is how many hours are in a day. This is what we decide, that how long a minute is, and how many minutes there are in an hour, and how many hours are in a day. Like, we're the ones who decided all that. I mean, you could just go by the sun rising and the sun setting if you want to say that's a cycle, because it's a cycle. It's one cycle around the earth. I mean, that is the universe. The universe understands that. The universe doesn't understand months. So things happen. Basically, shit happens. So you find the reading in May, but it was done in April. Well, yeah, maybe you were supposed to find it in April, but shit happens, energy's fluid, and in order for you to get to the place where the universe is like, okay, you need to know about these things. I want you to know about these things in this message that was done in April. And then I feel like also the universe uses things for convenience almost too. When you think about when you see numbers, or when you hear songs, or when somebody says something and you hear like the same phrase over and over again, or you see the same sort of imagery over and over again, like a certain animal, you keep seeing that animal everywhere. I feel like the universe uses those things as a convenience to kind of relay a message to you as well. That just kind of makes sense to me, because I mean, really, tarot readings and readings in general are just like very detailed songs. Like, you hear a song, and if the song speaks to you, then that's a message for you. I mean, you can listen to all sorts of songs and they don't really mean anything to you. You just listen to the song and you like the song. There's no deeper meaning there to it. But sometimes you listen to a song and just everything just falls into place. Like, just where you're at in your life, that song, you hear it, and all the lyrics, everything that's being said, you resonate with it, right? You're like, that makes so much sense. Like, it's basically describing how I feel right now. It's basically describing what's going on right now. I mean, it's the same with messages that you get in readings. They're just like songs, but they're more specific. I mean, think of them like extended fortune cookies. Like, a fortune cookie just has like one line in it, like, you will be successful, or whatever, don't get too cocky, or whatever, find your confidence, whatever it says in the fortune. But it's like an expanded that, you're getting the message when you need to hear the message. That's why sometimes you'll find, if you watch tarot readings, that the messages that you're getting, they're like very similar, like in one time. So like, if you're looking at all the messages like in May, and if you're inquiring about the same thing, they tend to be very similar, the messages. Now, see, I've done a lot of sort of like trying to trick sort of the universe, because, sometimes you'd be like, oh, it's just the algorithm. It's just the algorithm of YouTube. So like, I would like try to purposely go out of the algorithm. So like, I would open a private like incognito window where I didn't have any of my history. I would look at different readers. I would specifically pick a reader, but not the video that was recommended to me. I would go and find another video that they have, in their video list. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter how I found the messages, how I found the videos. The messages was always very similar. It was always kind of the same thing, because it's the universe wants to tell you a certain message at that time. So it doesn't matter when the video was made. the message that you are getting is the message that you were meant to get at that time. Now it's kind of weird because it's like, well, it's a general message. It's like, but it's all very sort of like predictive in a way, because it's pulling on energies later for when you would need it later down the line. Or you can look at it this way. When I do a reading, in my mind, my intention, when I set my intention for the readings that I'm doing are going to find the people that find my readings are the people that are meant to find it. I'm not just setting the intention that whoever finds it is gonna find it, kind of thing. I mean, yes, it kind of is that, but it's more like I'm setting the intention of, hey, you know, whoever is going to find my readings, they are the ones that are meant to find my readings. So whatever it is that I'm saying, whatever I'm pulling on, I hope, you know, my intention is that the people that it's meant for are going to find it. That's why I use zodiac signs, because it's not that it has anything to do with astrology. It's that I know the people that are going to find the message are going to search for their zodiac signs. I mean that's really what it is. Yes, I mean, there can be sort of some links there to your signs in your chart, but it's more just because of the way how YouTube has kind of turned zodiac signs into sort of a identification, if you put it that way. So like I could have easily just put this reading is for people who have blue eyes. Yeah, but the thing is, I know that people don't search for their readings based on the color of their eyes. So yeah, I know people search for readings based on their zodiac signs, and it really has nothing to do. It's just an identifier. So yeah, so if you are an Aries and I do a reading for Aries, it's because I know that somebody who identifies as Aries is going to search for the reading as Aries, and there's a higher chance that that person is going to find the reading, because that's the reading is meant for those people who are searching for Aries, who are identifying themselves as an Aries. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a little, I hope that wasn't too confusing. Time, there's more to time, because so like I said, energy is fluid. We have fluid energy here. Here's the thing. So okay, I'm gonna go over one more thing about time. So the reading, when I say energy is fluid and energy may change and everybody has free will, so when I pull the reading, so I pull the reading at this time in April, and then somebody finds it here, whatever, it's June, this is June now, doesn't really matter, I'm just, because I don't want it to be so crowded, they find it in June, but they're kind of like, well, this isn't correct, this is not correct. They're actually, because things have changed in their life, so they may have been on this sort of timeline here, but then something may have happened at this point. This, I don't know, it could be a tower moment, something to do with free will, I don't know, free will, tower, whatever happened here, and this changed something, and that changed the energy, and so now we're up here. So this is very Back to the Future. If you've seen Back to the Future 2, this may look familiar. And so now they're here, and this is still June. We're still in June, right? So when they find the reading here in June, well, here's the thing. It may not resonate, because this reading was done pulling on the energies in this timeline here, from this timeline here in June. So it was pulling on, this is the current energy. That's when I say current energy. When I say current energy, think of this line. This blue line here is what I mean, the current energy. This is the current energy line. Oh yeah, I just realized that I hold my pen fucking weird. I hold it like, yeah, whatever. It gets the job done, okay? So this is the current energy line. So when I say I'm pulling on current energies, this is the current energy that I'm pulling on. So in June over here, this fucking looks like a fucking football play or like basketball play over here. Yeah, so whatever I'm playing on, if the message was meant for you to find whatever in June, and if something happens between now and June, and something in the energy, and energy is fluid and it can change based on free will or just fucking shit happening, when you find it in June, you may be like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, because the energy shifted. There was a shift in energy. So when you find it in June, it's not always going to be, because you're not always going to be on the same timeline, the same energy timeline. If you are on a different timeline, if the energy shifted, perhaps, you know, something happened. Maybe you're asking about your person, and the current energy of that time with your person was, you know, this, it was going towards a certain direction, but then something happened. Maybe something happened that neither you or your person could anticipate it. You know, it can be like the pandemic, something like that. Pandemic happens, some external force happens, and it changes all the energies, because it changes people's free will and what they would have normally done. So it's like, okay, normally they would have went to work, or they would have been planning a vacation, and they would have went on that vacation, they would have met you on the vacation, blah 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 blah. But because the pandemic happened, now suddenly they're like, well, maybe I shouldn't go on that vacation anymore, and they decide to cancel their trip. Because they cancel their trip, now they're not going to see you, and that has changed sort of the energy flow here. So this reading now in April that was pulling on the energies of June, it wasn't taking into account any sort of tower moment or any sort of like change, like drastic change in the energy. That's why energy readers or tarot readers are constantly pulling on the energy, because it's fucking changing all the time. So like what I pulled on today, when I pull on it tomorrow, it can be different. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I've noticed that, you know, it's kind of the same, and that's when I don't do readings, because it would be redundant, because I would just be saying the same shit. So yeah, I mean, I've noticed it sometimes in the weekly readings or the weekend readings, where it's kind of the same thing, same thing from last week, same thing from last weekend. That's just the energy is not really changing, and it's just continuing on the flow. When it changes drastically, either it's because the person or like the people that I'm, you know, I'm pulling on, like because my intention is for whoever is going to find the reading, they've changed. So maybe somebody new is finding the reading, so that's why it's changed, or it's, you know, an energy shift. I'll find when I do readings for myself, a lot of the times it's just very bleh. That's why I did the channel, to be honest. My readings were very they got kind of boring to be honest, because it's the same shit over and over and over again. Not much changes unless I change it, or unless something else changes, like an external energy. But yeah, there you go. I don't know if that really helped explaining things. Probably not. I probably just confused the fuck out of you, because I confused the fuck out of myself. But I just felt like I should make some sort of video here to try to explain how I see the energy, and how, when I say the things I say, like what I mean, I guess, instead of trying to explain it in the videos or explain it in the description. I mean, it's not something that you really need to know, to be honest. You just watch the videos because, you know, you found the video and you found it for a reason. So that reason is you should just go with it, you know, just go with it. Don't really worry about it, the ins and outs. But I feel like for anybody who's interested, you know, in this other side of sort of reading, I guess, I thought I would try my best to explain it. I don't know if I explained it very well. I mean, it's all hypothetical, right? I mean, it's not like I know these things for a fact. I'm just explaining what I feel. It can sound like, I mean, I fucking look at this. This looks like something a crazy person wrote. Maybe I am crazy. Who knows? But this is just, I guess, how I feel the energy is going. And it's basically how I do my readings. So, like I said, when I say I'm pulling on the current energy, this is what I mean. When I say that the reading is timeless, this is what I mean. When I say energy is fluid, this is what I mean. So I'm just trying to explain to you, when I say things, this is what I mean. If you're interested in it, if you're not interested in it, then whatever, just watch the readings, enjoy yourself, and have a fun time. But if you wanted to know more about how I kind of do the readings, how I see things, then this may have been interesting to you in some way. I don't know. Maybe it's just the ramblings of a crazy person. Now, I'm gonna say, it's not that I believe this 100%. Like, I'm gonna put that caveat out there. It's not that this is like, oh, this is the way it is, and this is the way it's always. I mean, I can be disproven, obviously. This is all theoretical. It's just my theory. It's just a theory. It has, it's just how I feel. Sorry, I had to drink water because I was dying. I'm still dying. This may be some sort of sign for me to shut up. You've said too much. Anyways, all I was gonna say was that I'm not super stuck on this theory. I mean, it's just a theory. It's like any theory. Think of this as, when you're watching a TV show, and that TV show, it's like a whodunit or something, like How I Met Your Mother type of show, when you're trying to figure out who the mother is, where the umbrella is, and all that other bullshit. And you're just kind of making crazy theories. I'm like that. I'm that type of person. I'm the type of person that when I watched Pretty Little Liars, I was the type of person who wrote all sorts of theories on who A was and how it all connected and all that. I'm that person. So when it comes to things like time and readings and stuff like that, I like to try to kind of figure things out for myself, to find my theories and how I feel about things. It doesn't have to be right, and most of the time I'm not right. I'm probably not even close to being right, but this is just how I do my readings, and I thought I would share that with you. I don't know, maybe I'm regretting it now. I sound like a crazy person. I'm like that, what is it, Charlie Day, and he's got the fucking board, and he's got all the registering, and he's like, and then this and this and this and this. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because I feel my throat's getting dry again, and maybe that's a sign. Spirit's like, you're using your throat chakra too much. Is that any? Can you do that? Can you be using your throat? Yeah, probably. You're being a little too communicative. All right. Yeah, that's all I've got. That's all I've got for you. Here, if you stuck around and you watched my crazy ramblings, then thank you for watching. Honestly, I would be interested to know what other people think. If you have a theory, or if you want to add to it, or what do you think? I would actually be very interested to know, how what do you think about all this? Does this make sense? Does something not make sense to you? Is there something that maybe you want to add to it? Is there some, because I mean, I didn't read anything about facts on time theory and all that, because I like my brain to not become mush. And for me not to have some sort of existential whatever crisis. So I don't really read too much about it, but I mean, if you have knowledge in that area and you want to share, I mean, that would be awesome as well. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna leave it there, and if you have anything to add, I would like to hear about it. And yeah, I was about to say good luck. I mean, yeah, I guess good luck. Good luck with your life in general. Good luck with the current energy. Sure. But you have free will. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So yeah. All right. Take care. I hope you have a good day or good night wherever you are, and I'll talk to you later. Hopefully not in a weird, rambling, crazy person type of way. But yeah. Okay. Bye.